Welcome to Reach the World ASAP. My name is Pastor Scott Griswold, and this is Lucio Barros, who's recently come to join us at Reach the World Next Door as a student, but also as someone who's ready to get in there and help the people in the city reach out to the least reached. Tell me some of the things you've been doing since you've been here.
Well, we've been doing Bible studies. We've been doing construction. We've been doing food distribution and other things.
It's been fun to be out there passing out food to the refugees, and I've really enjoyed seeing you help with the Bible studies that we're doing among Laotians and Cambodians.
Yes.
Have you ever done this before?
Well, no, I've done Bible studies in Spanish, but not even in English. But here, the first time, my first study was in Laotian, and I was scared, but God led me to do a good Bible study.
It's different, isn't it?
It is.
How is it different? What's different about teaching a Buddhist background person from Southeast Asia?
Well, the first thing I would say, the language barrier. I've been speaking Spanish. I know some English, but I wish they because when we go to give them Bible studies, they speak a little bit English. So I was like, if they would know a little bit more English, it would be more easy for me. But another language. But God,
what did you do? What did you do in order to help them?
Well, the fun thing is that the numbers for most of their language are the same. So I was like, is this First Corinthians? Is this Second Corinthians? Oh, yeah, it is, because so it's talking about salvation, and that's how I basically found out all the Bible verses that are talking about salvation.
So you just used a Bible study in Laotian,
yes,
and you found the verses in English,
yes,
and you let him read it, and slowly he began to understand, right?
And it is even funny that I made them to read the questions, and then I said, I'm gonna read in English, and then you read in your own language. Mm-hmm. So
they were getting there. I came the week after you taught that one, and they were understanding. They had questions. We were able to show more, but we also could place in their hand a DVD that was in their language, Laotian, and as they watched that, the understanding grew.
Yes.
So I think this is a great reminder for people that even if the people they're trying to reach can't speak English well, God has brought them here.
Yes.
And we can find ways to share with them, like using the mylanguagemylife.com card that they can hear many things.
Yes.
Yesterday, something special happened. You enjoy doing things with health ministry. Mm-hmm. Tell us about what went on.
Well, when I came, to Houston, I know that I was coming to start doing Health Expo. That's something that we've been doing in New York in the last 3 years. But I didn't know, how to start working, because here the people have different customs and different, lifestyle challenges. And so some of the churches are not doing Health Expo because they don't have that training. But this church was praying to God and said, we want to do this food festival, because I think they did it last year and it was successful. And they said, why don't we do it, the second time? But they start praying in God, do you really want us to do a vegetarian food festival or a Health Expo? So they asked one of my friends, and he said, no, there's a young man called Lucio, and he's expert in doing Health Expo. So they introduced me to them, and we start planning at the beginning. We didn't have enough support, but little by little, all the church got involved. The kids, the teenagers, the elders. I mean, we have like probably 50 volunteers from Bel Air Church, and the others like 12 from other churches. And at the end, they were saying like, we need to do this again. We need to do this again.
It was so fun to watch it. Our team from up here came down and joined them. We worked together. Yeah. So we got to see everybody involved. And sometimes there were too many people in one line. We were waiting because there was a lot of good interest.
Yeah, so it was a good experience, and I was doing nutrition and overseeing some of the services, the health screenings. But what I enjoyed the most is counseling people, because people come, Pastor Scott, and they found out that that their cholesterol is high, that their blood pressure is high, and they didn't know. This is the first time, I know that my glucose levels are high. So now what I need to do, and that's when they come to us and they receive counseling and they are able to create their own goals, their health goals. And they said, well, this is the first time that someone prayed for me. This is the first time that someone took time to talk to me and encourage me to make lifestyle change. So it's
that's really nice. A lot of them were Hispanics because it's a Spanish-speaking church that reached out to their neighborhood. In fact, it's the church Bel Air that we've been working with a lot, Pastor Bernabe and the rest of us. They're the ones that are going out trying to find people that are Muslim, Buddhist, Hindu as well, so they can have a mission beyond their own people.
Yes.
And so I believe as they learned this yesterday, this is not just going to be something they do in their own church. Yes. They're going to take it to other communities, right?
Yes. This morning, Pastor, I received a call from the Sister Ada. She's the health director, and she said, a group, me and a group and I, we've been talking that we need to start working with you. We need to support you. We need to go with you, to do the outreach for all the other ethnic groups too.
That's fantastic.
That is more.
That's really our heart's prayer. We want all people to have a chance to know Jesus, but especially those who have never had the opportunity. Yes. And so this year, instead of just having students up here, we're primarily focused on training the church members in Houston. Yes. And you're a real part of that. You're helping us get them ready to do health outreach and ministry among those who wouldn't want to start talking about Jesus, but they need to see Jesus' love actively through the health ministry. Yes. So I'm really glad that you've come to help do that. In fact, yesterday, one of my good friends who I've been studying with and interacting with from a Muslim background, he showed up because I invited him. Wow. And instead of me counseling back there, other people I didn't know, I went through the health screening, through the different places, and it was so fun. He believes in the prophets of the scriptures, and there was one of the church members explaining to him the Eden diet, what happened at the fall, then what happened at the flood, and just walking it through, and he was just listening and appreciating it. But as we walked outside where he got a free haircut, he wasn't going to. And then he said, no, I think I will. And he sat down and he got one. And he then turned to me and he said, you know what I like best about what you're doing? And he showed this little pamphlet about not drinking alcohol. And of course, for Muslims, that's very important. That's a strong, high principle. So that was very meaningful to him to see that we value those things. He says, yeah, I know you don't drink, Scott, but to see your whole group promoting this is something I've never seen before. So are you glad you're here? Are you glad you decided to come to Houston?
Yes, I'm glad. I was praying to God, and God opened the door for me to come here. It's been a privilege. Every day, I learn new things, and I basically use what I've been doing in New York. But here, I see the need. I see the need. People hiring physically, mentally, and spiritually. And I'm glad. I'm glad that I'm here. And I'm sure that God is going to use all our team reach the world.
Amen.
And all the churches, the members that are coming to us to work together.
Amen. Thank you so much for coming. Yeah. If you've been inspired today to reach out to those who've never had a chance to know Jesus, who haven't had the opportunity to connect with the Word of God, I hope you'll do something about it. You can get more training by getting the kit Reach the World Next Door, which is available through ASAP Ministries. You can also connect with what we're doing here. There's several ways to do that. One, of course, is to join us next year in August for our Reach the World Next Door on-campus 9-month training program. You can also connect if you are living in Houston. We have a new program that is helping right from your church to reach out. And there's a special event coming up through GYC. If you go to gycweb.org, you will find there information about the post-conference happening. That is a way to come for 1 week and devote your time to learning, but especially to reaching out to the refugees. So many ways that you can do service for God to the people He has brought us. And that way, together, we can reach the world ASAP.